You want to introduce storytelling into your social media content, your communications that you put out as a brand, as an entrepreneur, as a business, but you're not quite sure how to do it. How do public relations practitioners do it? Well, I'm here to give you some pointers so you can start to get the ball rolling. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can craft narratives and then put some emotional hooks into your content. You can also explore visual storytelling, and I'm going to talk about how it's really important that you are authentic, that word authentic, as you do this, and then the reminders to be consistent about it and then engage with your audience no matter what. So I'm going to explore all of those things with you in this video. I am Serena. Thank you so much for tuning in and still watching. I've been in public relations for 20 plus years. I'm a chartered practitioner. I'm also a content creator, a systems thinker, and you can find out more about me in the description. And if you'd like to get more acquainted, especially if you feel like there's a collaboration that's possible, if you'd like some coaching, all of my information is in the description. That was a mouthful. Let's get straight into it. Crafting narratives. Now, this might feel like, well, hey, where do I start? The thing with narratives is that it sounds like it's quite calculated, but it's basically preparation. It's you talking about your offering and what's so great about it, and you can bring in elements like characters or any conflicts leading to resolutions. You can really play around with this. So just get a blank sheet of paper out or a blank document on your computer and then start to flesh something out. You might find that you get to showcase one of your offerings throughout that storytelling, throughout that narrative. So try and put together a very short script, put some characters in there, put some, I guess, if it's you speaking about it, then just put a little sort of beginning, middle, and end in there. There are no rules. What suits you? Are you going to be giving this script to somebody to put an animation together for you, or are you going to just have someone from your team speak it? So think a little bit about how it's going to look at the end. But the main thing is, as you write this, make sure it's engaging, make sure it makes sense to you, and it's highlighting all the wonderful things, the features of your offering. So that's crafting narratives. Now, once you've done that, look at your script and see if you can spot any emotional hooks. Now, these are things that really capture the hearts and the minds of your audience, and it can elicit a joy or a fear or a trust response. And it really helps to keep somebody hooked to a story. And it can evoke strong emotions, and then you might find that they're more open to seeing where the story goes. So see if you can maybe put in one or two, especially towards a resolution end. Now, if you wanted to use visual storytelling, I would say yes, absolutely, you can use any sort of AI tools available to you. Right now, we're in a really fast-paced digital world, and visual storytelling is really powerful for PR campaigns. But if you don't have access to any AI tools, or you don't have somebody to put together some animation for you, then you can use other visual elements to tell your story. This could be through still photography. It could still emotionally sort of impact your story and make it shareable. It could be images, it could be designs with the right kind of caption. So don't feel like you're limited because you don't have a filmmaker or an AI. Just use what you have, and more than likely you have a stock of images and video that you can use for your offering. Authenticity, that thing, I talk about this, and it's questionable because we are different in different settings. That doesn't necessarily mean we aren't being authentic. That's another conversation. But what I will say when it comes to producing content for your brand, because it's got to sort of sit there and sort of stand the test of time. You want it to capture you and your offering as best as possible. So that's why we will use this authenticity sort of metric and measure. So you've got to trust that your audience may spot any insincerity if you're trying to sort of hard sell them a little bit too much, or if you're trying to manipulate them, because, they can be pretty smart. We are all improving in our media literacy. I hope I talk about that on my other channel. And we should be able to spot something that is probably a little bit too calculating. So ensure that your authentic story is a reflection of you and your offering and all the valuable features of it. You do want them to do a thing, but you don't want it to feel like a super hard sell, or that the story just kind of ended abruptly because now it's a call to action. So when I'm saying be authentic, I mean be sincere. If you're going to provide a story, give them a beginning, middle, and end. Don't go straight to the sale. Consistency. If you're gonna do this, then think about maybe planning this kind of content on a monthly or a quarterly basis, just so that storytelling then becomes a sort of crucial ingredient in the mix of your content that you put out. It really does help to get your audience to sort of tune into a style of communication that you have, and you don't want to repeat the same story over and over. You don't want to do that, but by repeating this sort of style of storytelling, you can build trust, and then you sort of become more reliable to your audience, because then they can rely on you to tell them about the thing in the style that you do. So it's almost like getting somebody to watch a season. It's a similar kind of habit generation, if you like. Now, lastly, you want to always engage and listen. Engage with what's being said and what the response is. Don't react. Remember, I've said this before in another video. You don't want to immediately jump on your screen and start reacting. Just take a sit back and engage by listening and understanding what the response is. You don't have to jump into action mode. First, take a step back and then take some time to listen to what is resonating with your audience and make a note of that. Definitely take notes, and it will help you to craft an audience persona, and that's something that can be such an effective tool in our arsenal as brand managers or PRs or entrepreneurs, for us to sort of really capture a persona of our audience. And this way we can truly, in a more intentional way, directly speak to our audience, because then we know who they are and what they're about. I hope this video helped you. Again, I'll just reiterate what I went through. You craft a narrative, a story, a beginning, middle, and end. Make it interesting, make it unique, give it a go. Definitely see if you can put any kind of hook in there that can evoke an emotional response. It could elicit a sense of joy or fear or genuine sort of curiosity. See if you can play with visuals. It really helps if you can use visuals. If you don't have access, again, to animation or filmmaking, then use still photography and do this regularly. So if you do it 1 month, try it another month, or don't overcommit, but definitely try the style more than once. And then you can actually evaluate whether this style over a period of time actually lands well with your audience. And remember, please engage and listen before you immediately jump in to react to anything, and really capture all that wonderful insight that can really help you for the next time that you do it, because you are going to do it. Try it 3 times over 3 months, and then monitor it, evaluate, and then, return to it. See if you think it's worthwhile to rinse and repeat, or you might pivot and tailor it differently. I hope this helped you and your journey with public relations and content creation and communications and all that wonderful stuff that entrepreneurs and brands need to connect with their audience in more effective and powerful ways. If you would like to connect with me in a more effective and powerful way other than this video, then drop a comment, come to my site. You know how to reach out. All the information's in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.